Hi, this is a podcast divided, and I'm Andy, and I'm still a Sox fan.
I'm Daniel, and I'm a Cubs fan.
And this is a podcast divided, just like I said. Cue the intro.
Your Daily Cubs White Sox podcast, the best place for all the baseball debate you need.
And we are back here on A Podcast Divided.
Every time I see that intro, I hate it more and more.
Yeah, we need to change that, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, especially that last clip. It's kind of disgusting, and it's not for children's eyes.
You
So,
don't appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't. Okay, so these White Sox, Daniel. Oh boy, are they awful! This has just been an abysmal season. After 2021, we had all this hope that we were going to make the playoffs, and we do. And hey, we lose that the first series to the Astros, but it's okay because first of all, it's the Astros. They made it to the World Series that year, and secondly, it's still a young team, so we still had hope that, and we almost knew. Hello, Keith, how was your day? So yeah, we basically knew that this White Sox team was going to be good for at least another 5 to 10 years, if not more. And then 2022 rolls around, we don't do anything in the off season, and we don't do anything in the regular season either. We actually go a perfectly even season with a 500 record. So that just depressed all of the hearts of what the White Sox fandom. So 2023 rolls around. I had hope. I didn't have hope like I did going into the 2022 season, where the White Sox were favorites for the pennant and also favorites of the World Series. But I had hoped that we would maybe make the playoffs, and if not, we would hopefully have a better season. And lo and behold, we are 52-79 with a 397 winning percentage, and somehow not last in our division because Kansas City exists. But yeah, this is a very weak division with our division leader being the Twins at 68-63, so just above 500, and number two, Cleveland, is at a 473 winning percentage. Daniel, I would like your input on how and why.
Well, first of
White
all,
Sox season is so bad.
I mean, obviously this is A Podcast Divide, and I'll tie in the Cubs a little bit. We're both in horrible divisions. Both Centrals are complete trash, and
Agreed.
like we've discussed a lot. Although the Cubs are doing good, they would not be in the playoff spot if there were better wild card teams, and they would not have a chance with the division if they were in any other division. Or maybe they would be like 10 games back or 7, but they wouldn't be like if they sweep the Brewers and they're 1 game back or something. And
Yeah.
they've been like 1 or 2 back. So the White Sox will eventually be good, almost 100%. That's how sports works. Eventually, they'll pick it up. It might be a long rebuild, might be a short rebuild, but it's going to be a rebuild at this point. And as soon as this rebuild ends, you guys will probably have to be a lot better than 3 games over 500 to win the division. Just saying. Because a lot of those other bad teams are also rebuilding. And just like the Brewers when they came up in 2018, and ever since they've been a thorn in the Cubs' back. I mean, you guys, hopefully you guys can get good quick if you guys want to win. Easier, definitely.
Yeah, we definitely do want to win, and like you said, both of us are very lucky to have very bad divisions. And unlike the White Sox, the Cubs are somewhat taking advantage of that, being second in the division, 4 games back. Well, we are fourth, and we definitely should have much more talent than you guys. But yeah, we are fourth in the division, 16 games back, even though we definitely should have more raw talent. Let's talk about the old prospects that should be in their prime right now. Okay. Okay, so
yeah, it's highest right there.
yeah, here we go. Let's start off with let's say Tim Anderson. He was drafted in I think 2014, maybe. I don't know, but he was supposed to be our top shortstop. He was actually such a hype prospect for Kenny Williams, and I think Rick Hahn too. I think he might have had a job there. That we traded away another prospect. We traded away Marcus Semien away so that we can have room for Tim Anderson. And you thought I was done. You thought I was done. No, I wasn't. In 2016, we were, kind of good. Maybe we could compete for a playoff spot. And also, Tim, he does probably shouldn't put him on second because he's our just desired prospect. He's going to save this team. So we end up trading away Fernando Tatis Jr. for James Shields.
I mean, you could make the case you guys traded away like half of the combined All-Star teams.
Yeah. And you know what James Shields did in his first game as a White Sox? He allowed 7 runs. That's not good. Last time I checked, it might be different now, but I think 7 runs is not good, especially when it was to the Nationals. I think it might have been good then, but not like World Series 2019 good. And even then, they weren't that good. But yeah, we traded away Marcus Semien and Fernando Tatis, which alone would be the best middle infield in the game, hands down, in my opinion. And what's Tim Anderson? What has Tim Anderson done for this White Sox team? He has had 2 memorable walk-off home runs, and I believe 4 suspensions.
That's just sad right there. I mean, if you look at Tim Anderson, you're looking at a guy that's the opposite of the leader you want in the clubhouse. As you've told me a lot about how the White Sox really need a leader in their clubhouse. Well, you're not getting a leader in Tim Anderson. You're getting a guy who's just gonna, ruin it. Like, it's not very good if you look at the White Sox situation. And that's why the thumbnail of this video and live stream or everything has gone down for the White Sox and why. And that's what we're talking about here on A Podcast Divided. So, yeah, Andy, do you have any more stuff to say about the White Sox? I mean,
I haven't even gotten started yet. Let's go over Yohan Moncada. He was originally a number 1 prospect for the White Sox. He looked amazing in his first years, but since 2020, when I think he got COVID, he has just not been the same. He is really not. He's hit a few home runs. His average is okay, but it's nothing good. Like when you're getting replaced at third base by a guy named Jake Berger, you know that you have a problem. And yeah, so he's been put at second base. He's been just shuffled around. He's not much of a valuable player at all when he should be right in the middle of his prime. He's injured a lot. He's on and off. It's just really bad because we probably could have gotten Manny Machado in free agency, but we decided to skip on him because Yohan Moncada. No, that was a mistake. Okay, and you know who else we got from that trade? Because we traded for Moncada. We traded Chris Sale, and he didn't want to be on the team anymore, and I can't blame him. We got Michael Kopech, who was just an all-around amazing pitching prospect, our future ace. And he just decided that he didn't want to pitch for a few years. And then he was in relief. He was pretty good. And then he's in starting pitching, and he's very, very inconsistent, just on and off all the time. That's not what you want in a starting pitcher and an ace that should be in his prime. That's not the way to get wins. Inconsistency is not the way to win. Now let's go over the trade that we had with you guys, which was Jose Quintana for Eloy Jimenez and Dylan Cease. Now, I will admit, both of them have had some good years here and there. Mostly Dylan Cease's 2022 campaign, which was almost a Cy Young campaign. You could debate that he should have won the Cy Young. And then besides that, this year he's not been good. Last year he was okay, but he was the 5th string pitcher. Not last year, the year before last year, when we actually had pitching depth. But that's just not existent anymore. And yeah, Eloy Jimenez, he was supposed to be our home run leader. He was supposed to be our number 4 cleanup hitter, and he's just okay. Like, he hits home runs here and there, but he's nothing like what we wanted him to be. He's nothing like that left field power hitter. We put him in DH sometimes because he's just not a good fielder. and when he is fielding, he will be injured for the rest of the year, which is a major problem in the major leagues. You cannot be injured for half the year and expect like praises. Although Eloy is a fan favorite, he's not been that good. And let's go over a trade with the Nationals. I don't know who he traded, but I remember I think it was Adam Eaton. Yeah, it was Adam Eaton. And we acquired Reynaldo Lopez and Lucas Giolito, who both were traded to the Angels at the trade deadline this year. Lucas Giolito had 2 great years, 2019 and 2020. And then after that, fell off. He got fat, and then he got skinny again, and he still wasn't good. Reynaldo Lopez, he has just been the definition of an inconsistent relief pitcher. Some months or even seasons he's been great. Others, it's just been a total just hard to watch. And let's not forget our biggest prospect, our next Mike Trout, as Eloy Jimenez said, Luis Robert Jr., who is absolutely on a tear this season. He is the only good part of the Chicago White Sox team. And honestly, I don't even know what to do with him. I mean, should we trade him and get more prospects? Because he is honestly in a Mike Trout situation, the only good player on a bad team. And the guy deserves to win a World Series. He deserves to be on a competitive team.
Did you forget about Otani?
Yeah, he's in a Trout and Otani situation. Both of them are on great. All three of them, I should say, are on horrible teams, but they're great players. So I don't even know what to do with the guy.
Baseball's a team game, though, and every now and then you see it a lot where like you have like you've just been saying, like you have these great players, but that you need to build around them. But you also need to have guys step up, like the Cubs have had, and the White Sox, if they want to win, that they're gonna need some guys who are not like guys who you think are gonna be like amazing, but they're gonna need some guys like that to step it up too.
Yep. So
that's not happening right now. It's quite the opposite.
Okay,
guys
Daniel.
are underperforming left and right. It's it's like a yard sale. It's a hot mess.
Yeah, I know how much you wanted to say those words for years. So let's move on to the free agent signings. Keuchel, Grandal, you could even say Pollock, Kimbrel, just trade acquisitions. Yeah, all of these players are bad. They are. They should be traded. We are on a full scale rebuild, and I don't know. There's some reasons why. I guess. In my opinion, there's no like really big reason why. It's just like a perfect storm of excuses that'll actually like make this team bad. For example, the coach. For the past 2 years, we have had just an incompetent coach. Tony La Russa last year, worst coach in the league. Pedro Grifol, also a horrible coach. He's not known for being a bad coach, but he is a bad coach. He does not know how to run an MLB team. I don't know what they were thinking, getting like a backup assistant guy, batting, pitching. I don't know what he did, but I know that he was like some assistant coach for the Royals. Why a coach from the Royals? That makes no sense. They are a losing team. So we're just gonna get him, pretend that we're stunned by his interview because of how cheap he is, and then give that reason. And and it's all because of bad management. I mean, at this point, I'm not saying this like to insult Jerry Reinsdorf. I'm saying this because just like out of just sympathy.
Well, bad management, bad ownership, bad players. If you add that all together, you get this failure. Yeah.
Well, no. They should be good players, which I'll get you later.
Underperformance.
Yes, Daniel. I know underperformance. And Jerry Reinsdorf. He is 87 years old. That is not a good age to run one sport, a major sports team, let alone two, because he owns the Bulls as well. He should just sell the team. I mean, just move to like the Key West and enjoy your millions upon millions of dollars.
Is he this bad with the Bulls?
Yeah. You want to know why the Bulls didn't win 7 or 8 championships? Jerry
Why?
Reinsdorf. You want to
Really?
know why the Sox don't play at Old Comiskey anymore? Jerry Reinsdorf. You want to know why the Bulls haven't been good since the 90s? Jerry Reinsdorf. You want to know the reason why the Sox haven't been good since 05? Jerry Reinsdorf. So, yeah, everyone wants him to sell the team, and I am an advocate for that because he's just not fit to be an owner anymore. I mean, he's 87, like approaching his 90s. Just sell the team. And I know it's going to be hard to find an unrealistic, but give the White Sox like a good manager that puts the team and the fans first. That's very hard to find, especially for Chicago sports.
It sure is.
And another thing, we have had bad off seasons these past 2 off seasons. We were great in 2019 and 2020, and then after we made the playoffs against the Astros, we just decided to do absolutely nothing with our money. We didn't sign anyone important. Our best contract was Andrew Benintendi, who has also been underperforming for us. Shocker. And the $75 million contract for 5 years, which is somehow our biggest contract in White Sox history, which needs to change very quickly. But it's not going to change since we are in a rebuild, which brings me to my next point. We're just bad at the trade deadline. Why didn't we trade Tim Anderson? We traded a fan favorite, Jake Burger. He was one of 2 lights in this dark, dark team. Everyone loved Jake Burger. People were buying Jake Burger jerseys. But no, we're just going to trade him away. And you know what? So Rick Hahn, he was the GM. Kenny Williams was the assistant GM. Kenny Williams traded Jake Burger without Rick Hahn knowing. That's not good. That is not good.
I mean, Jake Bird is the type of player. I mean, I'm not a White Sox fan, as you all know, Andy. But I'm still a guy who likes some MLB players just because they're a good player, not because I like the team they're playing for. And Jake Burger is the type of guy who got my attention, and it was like, man, this guy's pretty fun. I mean, he's hitting tons of home runs. He's adding electricity to a team that doesn't even have any like wires to run the electricity. I mean, I guess it's a smart decision in some sense. But then again, who are you going to build around if you trade everyone and then the only good people who are supposed to be good are underperforming already? I mean, you're literally going to have to make this rebuild, maybe like add years because of that trade. Tim Anderson just making it worse. Burger.
And he's going to be a free agent next year, which I don't understand why we didn't trade him. I mean, he's a free agent.
Are you going to get nothing?
Nothing.
Him? Nothing?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, and also, right after the trade deadline, we Kenyon Middleton spoke up, along with a lot of other players that got traded from the White Sox, and said that they do indeed have a culture problem. We have brats fighting other people from other teams, and it's not been a good situation at all. We have people falling asleep and management doing nothing about it. Literally nobody cares about this team anymore. Not even the people who run it. The people who run the White Sox don't care about what happens. This is absolutely abominable. And now we have new news that the team might relocate to Nashville. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised because the lease for Comiskey Park, well, people call it guaranteed rate field, but it's not. It's Comiskey Park. It'll always be Comiskey Park. Unless they have Portillo sponsor it, then it'll always be Portillo Park. But anyway, that's just my own thing. So,
I'm a Prism too. Yeah. Anyways.
So, I mean, the White Sox, their lease ends in 6 years for Comiskey Park. And now the question looms, where are they going to go? I mean, the South Side's not a good spot because I believe 3 years ago, people were shot in Comiskey Park. I mean, that's just insane. Even though the shot came from a mile away, it's still very, very, very dangerous.
I mean, if you get shot, do you care how far away the bullet was shot from?
Yeah, a mile away. I mean, it's still close to the field. Like you can.
It doesn't make it any better. It's not like, I'm fine with it if it's a mile away. It's like, no, it's dangerous. It's hazardous.
So
It's
obviously the South Side is not a good decision to put a professional sports stadium at. I mean, I love the South Side. I love their fans, but this is just a dangerous neighborhood. Like, we don't want any more shootings. If it comes from a mile away or a foot away from the field, even if it's inside the field, this is unacceptable. So we have to move the team somewhere in the city. The suburbs, I can accept it, but I don't want it because the Sox aren't made for the suburbs. The Cubs are made from the suburbs because you go walking in downtown Chicago, all you see is Sox hats. You go walking in the suburbs, all you see is Cubs hats. So yeah, the Sox, in my opinion, are made for the city. My ideal situation would be go to vacant Soldier Field. But there are obviously rumors that they could be headed to a place like Nashville or Orlando or a place where a baseball team would be suited. Maybe even Salt Lake City and the Mormon White Sox. That'd be weird.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, the Chicago White Sox may not be in Chicago for a while. They may not be in Illinois for a while, and this just, I mean, literally everything that can go wrong for this team has gone wrong. And the new GM that we might get, Chris Getz, he's the man responsible for all these prospects that flopped. Because I think he was the farm director or something like that. He was in charge of the minor leagues. So yeah, he is responsible for all these prospects that flopped in the major leagues, and now we could hire him as GM.
Wow.
What?
That's
Why not
great.
just hire Ozzie Guillen as GM? He knows baseball. He knows the White Sox. Even Chuck Garfien. Just hire the whole like the White Sox pregame and postgame live crew. I mean, why not? It's going to be better than Chris Getz, Rick Hahn, Kenny Williams, all these people that don't care about the team. Literally, no one on the White Sox cares about the White Sox. The players don't care about the White Sox. Only the fans care about the White Sox. And in my opinion, they're starting to lose fans. The fans are starting to lose their passion, their care.
Some of them are going to
this team. Yeah, they are. And I wouldn't blame them. I mean, obviously I'm going to be loyal to my team unless they move to Nashville or another city. But yeah, I mean, I could see why Sox fans would be moving to the north side, because you guys actually have excitement there. You have hope. You have prospects that won't flop most likely. You have management and players that care about the team. You literally had a pitcher who begged management not to trade him. And obviously you probably know that is Marcus Stroman.
Yep. Stroman, he was the type of guy who was doing great and acted like he had all the power. And then he started pitching so bad that it got to the point where it's like, okay, we don't want you on our team. But, well, no, sorry, my bad. It got to the point where other teams were like, we don't want to trade for you. We'll not take you for free. Well, maybe we will if we don't have to pay you. But, I mean, you're doing so bad, we're not trading for you. I mean, no one was even interested in that. I mean, he completely ran himself out of the trade talk. I feel like he just wanted to get into controversy, and then he just fell off. Well, not fell off for a month. I mean, not like fell off.
Well, now he's injured, so
and then injured and not good, and yet the Cubs still did great. Even though he's gone, hopefully Jordan Wicks can keep doing good. Hopefully we can keep having pitchers who are not projected to do that good, them having amazing games, seasons, But anyways, back to the White Sox. They have not had that. And who do you think in the White Sox prospect system? I know we talked a little about this, but give me your 3 favorite prospects that can make an impact in the foreseeable future. I think we're talking more in 3 years.
Okay. Well, a prospect that I would say right now could make an impact in the next 5 years, possibly if he gets back to his old self, would be Corey Lee, who's a catcher, and then 2 players / prospects who I think would make a big impact. And we would have to wait for them to actually be on the White Sox. Would be Jose Cuero, who's a catcher, and Colson Montgomery, who is a shortstop / third baseman. I think both of them, especially Colson Montgomery, could have the potential to make this team in 2024. So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I mean, every MLB team will have good prospects because the guys in the MLB draft are going to be at least decent. And I don't know any of those guys you're talking about, but
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
most people didn't know about Mike Trout when he was a prospect. Well, maybe they did, but
Yeah,
let's just say,
you know, okay, about Mike Trout. I think he was picked like 28th or something. And I'm not, don't quote me on this, but I think the White Sox had the pick before the Angels picked Mike Trout. So yeah, that's next.
so you guys could have had Trout. You guys could have had Semien up the middle with
Tatis.
Tatis.
And don't forget about Juan Soto. We almost signed him, but the Nationals ended up lying to our faces and then getting him anyway. So yeah.
So where does Luis Robert play again?
Center field. So Soto can play in right, and then maybe Trout can play in left, or maybe Robert can play in left.
That would be a stacked outfield.
Oh, you're telling me in Eloy too. I mean, he would be a DH.
Oh, it's a scary team if you think about how it could have gone.
Yep.
You also add in Semien and Tatis, and then all you need is first and third and a catcher. That's 3 positions and some pitching. I mean, like, I don't know. Sometimes
if we developed our prospects right, we wouldn't need anything. We would be a team that would scare people for ages. But anyway, I think that's all the time I got. So hope everyone enjoyed this. How the White Sox are and how literally everything that could go wrong for this team has gone wrong. And hopefully we can see the White Sox renew their lease or go somewhere else in the city. Hopefully we can see a meteor hit Wrigley Field and destroy the Cubs in the process. And yeah, that's it. Have a good day.
Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay frosty.
Yeah.
See you later. Go
Cubs.
Cubs.
And go White Sox.
Go Cubs.
Go White Sox.
Go Cubs.
Go White Sox.
Go Cubs.